I believe getting up every day that everybody should feel safe, especially your children and grandchildren. So those are the important things to me, that they ought to be able to walk down to school without the violence surrounding them. We have about 900,000 people. Indianapolis is the state capital, and Indianapolis is pretty much all of Marion County. So we don't have beaches and we don't have mountains, but we're a heavy sports town. We've got the Pacers and the Colts. We're the home of NCAA. We have the NFL Combine. We've got the Brickyard 400, the Indy 500. So I think that's what brings people to our city and county. Actually, I had a grandfather and an uncle on both sides of the family that were Indianapolis police officers, so I really grew up in the city. But I took a part-time job with the sheriff's office in college, and somehow I just developed the county side of it. And 32 years later, I was still there as their chief deputy. I just have been a sheriff for a year, because I actually left. I was appointed as United States Marshal under President Obama, so I was gone for 5.5 years. And the sheriff previously said, you should come back. I said, I've done everything. He said, you haven't done my job. I said, okay, let's think about that. So I came back about 3 years as the Criminal Division Commander, ran for sheriff, and was elected. Well, one of the things right now is we're building a new jail and courthouse. So that was a $600 million project. So we'll be for a while running both agencies of opening up and closing one. And we just don't do that on a weekend. So that's going to be a huge challenge. Also the courthouse, we produce in 180 prisoners every day to 40 different courts. So those are movements that we have to do every day. The safety of the courthouse, the right that people are still not guilty yet. So when they have that opportunity, we then move them through the system. And we also at the same time have the communications for the entire county. We dispatch 950,000 runs a year. So 911 calls. So it's about the 5th largest in the country, because we have 30 law enforcement agencies in our county. So those are the kind of things that every day we have to contend with. I think one of the biggest things is retention. Law enforcement is cyclical. You know, you could see it in the 60s and 70s. Sometimes people wanted to be law enforcement, sometimes they don't. That's not really popular right now. So we have to catch people on that swing, and one of the things we have to do is pay them enough. And that's a challenge too, to not raise taxes and at the same time give them enough money. So I know in this first year I was able to get a pay raise for every employee on the department, which we hadn't had in over 4 years. So those are the kind of negotiations that I believe that I need to be doing as the sheriff. Well, one of the things we have is we have a volunteer chaplain program, which is a significant part of the African American community. They're actually awarded, it's not a police badge, but it's a badge identifying their selection of their religion. I use them as a source. We can have them come in and there's things that are going to be going on. I can tell them ahead of time and let them get that exact message out to the community. Also, it's a place for them to call. I had a call about a month and a half ago, said, we heard this story, could you meet? About 8 pastors came in and we were able to clear that up so they could then accurately reflect back to the community this was not happening, what they believed they had heard. So that kind of open communication I think is important. I'm not real big on legacies, but what I would like to know, the people can say that I treated them fairly. And I also like that I was fair and disciplined. It's going to be necessary, but I try to be even and fair. And also I think it's important to increase our diversity in both minority and gender. And I've done that. I've put some significant ranking people within the department. So someone who came on, I mean, a female coming on when I came on had little to no chance. I think she had a chance to move upward. I have the division commander of the largest division as a female. And it's not because she's a female. I had the opportunity to work with her earlier and 3 years ago when she's assistant commander. I saw what she did and I thought, if I had any opportunity sometime, she's going to be in a position, little to know I was going to be the sheriff, but those are the important things where people can look forward to those equal opportunities.